Hey everyone, my name is Rajan Thapa. I have been teaching PTE and IELTS for over 10 years. I've already taught more than 15,000 students. Thousands of my students succeeded to get very impressive score and thousands of them got their desired score. In this video, we're going to talk about two types of questions that make up your writing module: summarize written text and write essay. But before that, let me clear you one thing, that you do not get your writing score from these two tasks only. You'll get your writing score from two questions of listening, write from dictation and summarize spoken text. And also, even if you do not attempt any question in PT, you will still get 10 points, and that's true with each module. That means your total raw points across all sections or across all skills add up to roughly 80 points. That is just to give you perspective, don't stress. Now first, let me talk about summarized written text. And honestly, what I'm going to show you is more than enough. You don't need any other tips and strategies for this question. And you want to know three interesting facts about summarized written text. First, it carries the highest weightage among all 22 types of questions of PT. Second, it doesn't only contribute marks to your speaking score, it significantly contributes marks to your reading module. And the third is that it is easy. Trust me, if you know how it works, it is really not a challenging task. Now, let me show you my screen and let's get started. Let's look at it. Let's read the instructions first. The instruction tells you what you have to do here. Read the passage below and summarize it using one sentence. This is the passage. You will get the passage of around 300 words. That will be the length of the passage. And what you have to do here is you have to read the passage and you have to summarize this passage in one sentence. Okay, let's read the remaining instructions. Type your response in the box at the bottom of the screen. Here you are going to write your answer. You have 10 minutes to finish this task. But remember, even if you finish it in 5 minutes, you will not get that remaining 5 minutes for other questions of reading. So there is no rollover time. You have to know that. That's why you have to use your full time. You have to do your best. And in your real PTE test, you will get 2 questions of summarized written text. Alright? Your response will be judged on the quality of your writing and on how well your response represents the key points in the passage. So here as well, your score will depend on 4 criteria. These 4 criteria are content, form, grammar, and vocabulary. Content contributes 4 points, form contributes 1 point, grammar contributes 2 points, and vocabulary contributes 2 points. Now, let me show you what you have to do here. First, what you have to do is, you have 10 minutes here and you have to use around 1 to 2 minutes to scan the passage. You can pause the video and you can scan the passage, and you have to know what the passage is saying. And after then, what you have to do is, you don't have to compose your own sentence. You can actually borrow sentences from the passage. When you do that, you are not going to make any mistake. For example, I've already read the passage and I'm choosing this sentence first. Okay, I'm simply copy here and pasting it here. You can type it for the practice. I'm choosing this sentence because usually the first sentence is the most important sentence. It is the topic sentence. Topic sentence means it actually begins what the entire passage is about. That's why I'm choosing this sentence. And the second sentence, which I think is important here, is this one. And I'm copying this as well, like this. And after then, I think this last sentence carries all the essential points discussed in the passage. That's why I'm copying this as well. But maybe you have noticed that I have copied 3 sentences. You can go up to 4 sentences. You have to choose between 60 to 70 words. That is ideal. You can go up to 75. But remember, if you write less than 5 words or more than 75 words, you will get 0 for that. That's why you need to maintain the word limit as well. Okay? And after then, what you have to do here is, you have to connect these sentences. Okay, this is the first sentence, so you simply need to remove full stop, and you can write comma, and you can simply add and or any other conjunction. And you have to change the first letter of the second sentence into lowercase, or you have to turn it into small letter from capital letter. And after then, here too, what you have to do is you have to write comma and change it into lowercase by, right? So this is the entire sentence. But listen, if you do this much, then what happens is you haven't contributed anything at all. Basically, PTE test is assessed by AI, but there is a human interference as well these days. That's why you have to contribute something from your side. You have to show your skills. So how are you going to show your skills here? You have to change some words here. You can simply use some synonyms. At least change 2 synonyms in this entire sentence, or you can go with the 3-4 changes as well if you can. So what I'm doing here is I'm changing few words here. So I have changed 5 words here. Instead of crucial, I have written important, and I have written increase instead of grow. I have changed complex into complicated. I have changed essential into crucial. I have changed achieving to attaining, and considering to discerning. So I have made 6 changes here, which is more than sufficient. You can only make 2 or 3 changes if you can do that. Let's submit the answer, and you can click to score. And you can see I have got a 9 out of 9. That's it for summarized written text. 1 sentence, 5 to 75 words, 2 to 4 sentences as they exactly are. Connect these sentences by using relevant connectors. Be careful with uppercase and lowercase, and finally change few words with synonyms or similar words, and you are done. No need to overcomplicate it. Now, the core of your writing score, the essay. This one you really need to practice. Watch how I approach it, but remember, you have to experiment on your own as well. So let me show you my screen and let's get started. First, let's understand what the write essay task actually is. In the PTE exam, you'll get exactly 1 essay to write, and you have only 20 minutes to complete it. There is no extra time, and there is no rollover time from other tasks. So if you waste time here, it is gone. Now, how many words should you write? The requirement is between 200 and 300 words. But our recommendation at PTE IELTS Academy is to aim for 250 to 270 words. Here is exactly how you should manage your 20 minutes. 1 minute, read the prompt carefully and plan your essay. 15 minutes, write your essay. 3 to 4 minutes, proofread and correct errors. Many students make the mistake of writing until the last second and never proofreading. Please do not do that. Even fixing 2 or 3 grammar mistakes in those final minutes can improve your score. Now, let's look at how the write essay task is scored. The total marks available are 26 points, spread across 7 criteria. In PTE, there are 3 main types of essay prompts that appear most often. Type 1, agree, disagree. The prompt will say something like, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Your job is to give your clear opinion and support it with reasons and examples. Do not sit on the fence, take a strong position. Type 2, problem solution. The prompt will ask, what problems does this cause? What solutions can you suggest? Here, you need to identify specific problems and propose practical solutions. Make sure you do both. Do not just write about problems without giving solutions. Type 3, discussion. The prompt says, discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Here you need to present both sides fairly. 1 body paragraph for advantages, 1 for disadvantages, and a balanced conclusion. Each of these 3 types needs a slightly different approach. But the good news is that the 4-paragraph structure we are about to cover works perfectly for all 3. This is the core template that we teach at PTE IELTS Academy. Every PTE essay should have exactly 4 paragraphs. Let me go through each one. Paragraph 1, introduction, 2 to 3 sentences. Start with a general statement about the topic, then rephrase the essay prompt in your own words. Do not copy it word for word from the screen. as the AI system will detect this and penalize you. Finally, write one sentence that outlines what your essay will cover. That is your introduction, short and clear. Paragraph 2, body paragraph 1, 4 to 5 sentences. This is where you present your main point. The formula is simple. State your main point, explain it in more detail, then give a specific example to support it. For example, you might cite a study, a statistic, or a real-world situation. Good examples add credibility and help your development and coherence score. Paragraph 3, body paragraph 2, 4 sentences. This is where you present the other side, a counter-argument or a second supporting point depending on the essay type. For agree-disagree, acknowledge the opposing view but then refute it. For discussion, present the other idea. For problem solution, this is where you write your solutions. Again, follow the same structure, point, explanation, example. Paragraph 4, conclusion, 1 to 2 sentences. Keep your conclusion short, restate your main position using different words, and optionally add a suggestion or call to action. Do not introduce any new ideas in the conclusion. That is the complete 4-paragraph structure, simple, effective, and it works for every essay type. Now let's look at the transition words that will make your essay flow beautifully. Transition words are the glue that holds your essay together. They signal to the examiner that your writing is organized and coherent, which directly improves your development, structure, and coherence score. I have grouped them into 6 categories. Let me go through each one. To start, use these at the beginning of your first body paragraph. To commence with, firstly, or to begin with, these signal the start of your argument. To add, when you want to add another idea in the same paragraph, use furthermore, additionally, or moreover. These show the examiner you are building on your point. To contrast, when you present the opposing side or a counter-argument, use however, on the other hand, or nevertheless. These are especially important for the second body paragraph. To exemplify, when you give an example, use for instance as an illustration or for example. Always follow these with a specific, believable example, a study, a statistic, or a real-world scenario. To evidence, when you back up your point with a fact or research, use this is evident by or research shows that. You can invent plausible research for PT, just make it sound credible. To conclude, to start your conclusion, use to conclude, overall, or to sum up, then restate your position clearly. I strongly recommend memorizing at least 2 phrases from each category. Use them naturally throughout your essay and your coherence score will improve significantly. Now, let's look at our first sample answer. The essay type is agree-disagree. Our second sample answer is a problem solution essay. Our third and final sample answer is a discussion essay covering advantages and disadvantages. One essay, 20 minutes, 200 to 300 words. Always use the 4-paragraph structure. It works for all 3 essay types. Transitions. Use transition words from all 6 categories to improve your coherence score. Remember, address, prompt, proofread, avoid copying. These 3 points alone can dramatically improve your score. 3 sample types, agree, disagree, problem solution, discussion. Know how to identify and approach each type before exam day. If you practice these strategies consistently, you will see a real improvement in your write essay score. Consistency is the key. That's how you handle your both writing tasks. But here is the truth. A 5-minute demo won't make you an expert. You need a detailed step-by-step guidance on how to build every sentence of your essay for agree, disagree, problem solution, and discussion essays. That's why I have made a full in-depth video where I break down exactly how to compose each paragraph for every type of question. You'll find that video on my channel. Watch that, practice daily, and you'll improve. I will see you in next video, and don't forget to subscribe.